president, our able president, the president of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuer, in as much as he's not here right now, in the person of NIESV Jumbu Amayenevo, the current president of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, and the chairman of the council. Please, a round of applause for him. We also recognize the second vice president, NIESV Victor Alonge. He's the second vice president. First vice president, please, I'm very, very sorry. First vice president. I'm going to announce it. He is the first vice president of our noble institution, NIESV Victor Alonge. Please, a round of applause for him. Now, in our midst here, the father of this association is our second vice president, the coordinator of the NIESV National Women Wing, and the person of NIESV Malam Bature Ali Mahmoud Muhammad. Please, that is not a clap for our second vice president and our own coordinator. Please keep on clapping until I say stop. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. We also want to recognize our past president. He is here to grace this our occasion in the person of NIESV Reverend Dr. Patinola Ajayi. He is our former president, our elder, our papa in this profession. Thank you so much. He is seated close to him is our amiable mommy. Amiable mommy. See how she's smiling. She's always smiling. Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Linda Patinola Ajayi. She is a strong woman. She was our former treasurer. Please, another round of applause for her. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay, we now want to recognize our able leader. The leader that has been with this particular association, has been molding this particular association with her team. She has gone through things and things within this or to make us to come to this particular height now. She is in the person of Estate Surveyor and Valuer Bridget Oranye, a fellow of the institution. A clap for her. Please, will you wave your hand, please, for us so that we know that you are here. Thank you so much. His assistant leader of this women wing also is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Esther Echem. This is the assistant leader. Please, a round of applause for her too. We also have NIESV and Estate Surveyor and Valuer Amina Musa Aliu. She is our secretary, the secretary of this women wing. And there also our own, the people on the finance group, headed by Estate Surveyor and Valuer Adesumbo Adebisi, fellow of the institution too. That was our financial secretary. Please, where is she? A round of applause for her. And our main banker, that is anything about our finance, we are going to ask these people. She is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Martha Frank Ali, a fellow of the institution. A round of applause for her too. Within us here, we have so many of them, and the people from different branches. We also have the coordinators of the women wing from each branches. They are all here with us with the coordinators with all the, I have to mention them. Let us recognize them and clap for them because it's not really easy to carry all these women along. First of all, I have to, Abia State Branch, Estate Surveyor and Valua, Ono Haogechi, Abia State Branch, Estate Surveyor and Valua, Rahili, Lamid, Daniel, Adamawa Stroke Taraba Branch. Thank you. Wahila, sorry, please. Estate Surveyor and Valua, Udeme Ebong Ini Udo. Akwa Ibom Branch, you see here? You're welcome, ma. Estate Surveyor and Valua, Dr. Chinelo Igwe, Anambra State Branch. A wave to the women. Please a clap for them. Estate Surveyor and Valua, Aye Batonye, Ade, Bayelsa State. Please a clap for her. Estate Surveyor and Valua, Taye Juliet, Boronu Stroke Yobe Branch. Please a clap, please. Thank you so much. Estate Surveyor and Valua Regina Ebam from Cross River State. Are they here? Cross Riverians, are they here? A clap for them. Estate Surveyor and Valua Edna Akipedi, Delta State. A clap for them. They should be here. That's just the neighboring states. Estate Surveyor and Valua Antonia Ogunaya, Ebonyi State. They're on their way. Estate Surveyor and Valua Edith Idehin, Edo State. I know that will be around this club. Yes, our whole state. Thank you so much. Estate Surveyor and Valua Amamata Lara Zakari from Kano State. A round of applause for her. Estate Surveyor and Valua Korode Owa Rachel, Ekiti State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Mrs. Okeke Nkiru, Enugu State. And my humble self from Imo State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Jovita Nametu. Please clap for me now. Thank you. Estate Surveyor and Valua Hadiza Ahmed Musa from Kaduna State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Awa Williams from Kogi State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Giwa Grace Bosede from Kwara State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Olufowobi Oluwumi from Lagos State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Rashikatu Ishaku from Nasarawa State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Amina Koko from Niger State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Odunaya Ibironke Elizabeth from Ogun State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Akimbo Yi Aderonke from Ondo State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Ayo Aladini from Oyo State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Obajoy Chizoma from Plateau State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Ngozi Amaku from River State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Miriam Manga from Sokoto, Trokebi, and Zavara State. You are very strong, 3 states. Very, very strong. Estate Surveyor and Valua Ochiga Rose from Benue State. Estate Surveyor and Valua Sandra Angole Peter from FCT. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Having recognized, I know that we've recognized almost all the states that are here. Because of time, we are really going to, I'm keeping some special people. When the time comes, we are going to recognize them very well. Thank you. So right now, we are going to run off the program. We are going to invite Okay, right now, we're going to invite our able women, the leader of Women Wing, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers Women Wing, and the person of Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Bridget Oranye, to come and give us her opening remarks. Thank you so much, ma'am. You're welcome. Yeah.
Good morning, esteemed colleagues. Please allow me to acknowledge the established protocol. I also want to thank our coordinating minister, as we call him, the second vice president of our institution, for encouraging us and always being there for us. Thank you, our daddy, past president, Ajay Padnola. He's always there to honor us, advising us and guiding us. Thank you, our able leader, our mommy, Mrs. Padnola. We also want to thank all the management committee members in this auditorium and council members. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming. It is with great honor and privilege that I extend a warm welcome to each of you to the 4th NIESV Women's Conference holding in Benin City, Edo State, under the theme, Unlocking Wealth, Innovations in Real Estate Practice for Sustainable Growth. Dr. Albert Zink Georgia, a Hungarian biochemist and recipient of 1937 Nobel Prize in Biology, eloquently defined innovation as seeing what everybody has seen and thinking what nobody has thought. His definition encapsulates a diverse spectrum of disruptors, explorers, entrepreneurs, and catalysts for change, who inspire enhancements to current processes, fostering both modernization and transformation. Innovation transcends mere technology. It embraces new business models and practices that promote sustainability and inclusivity, new approaches to financing development, urban planning concepts, mixed-use development, and creating positive social impact, amongst others. Today, our esteemed panelists, drawn from their wealth of experience, will dive into innovation strategies to unlock wealth in our real estate practice for sustainable growth. This promises to be an enlightening discussion, particularly given our current economic landscape, with the inflation rate standing at 31.7% as at February 2024 from National Bureau of Statistics record, and the ripple effects of subsidy removal on petroleum and electricity tariff hikes impacting various sectors of our economy. I extend heartfelt gratitude to our conference planning committee for securing the participation of our esteemed resource persons and moderator who will expertly address our inquiries today. Thank you for graciously honoring us with your presence. We appreciate you. I also extend appreciation to all our sponsors and contributors for their invaluable support in ensuring the success of this event. Despite the prevailing socioeconomic challenges facing our nation, I echo the sentiments of numerous analysts in remaining optimistic that the federal government's ambitious policy thrust of Nigeria, attaining the status of a $1 trillion economy in the next few years, is indeed attainable, particularly in the light of his commitment to partnering with the private sector. Each of us has a unique role to play in this journey towards a revitalized country. In conclusion, I trust that each participant will depart from this conference enriched with new insights and better equipped to navigate the challenges that lie ahead. And let me add that Professor Nubi planted in her daughter that made her to travel all the way by road from London to Nigeria, that today he will impact it in our bones, that we too will go out here from this hall filled with fire. Congratulations to all of us. Thank you.
I don't think. Yes, we can do better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Without wasting much time, we want to invite the second vice president of our institution and the person of Mala Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Malam Pature Ali Mohammed. Please, a round of applause for her. Remember, I told you she is our coordinator, the coordinator of NIESV National. Please, another round of applause for him as he comes to the podium. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Just as you did started, recognize our president in absentia, our first vice president and the incoming president. Our past president, sir, you are not only our mentor, you are being a grandfather and father. Takes you with high esteem. All of us here have undergone one aspect of the professional tutelage under your humble self, sir. You're welcome. Our mommy, madam, you've always been remembered. You've always been with us. Estate Surveyor and Valua, Linda Patnola Ajayi, MNI. The first female MNI in our profession. Please, a round of applause for her, please. Other distinguished guests, Estate Surveyor and Valua is okay. Commissioner in Edo State, you are welcome. Professor Nubisa, you are welcome. Other distinguished personalities, the women leader, you and your members of ESCO. Bridget, you've done a very good job. Jumoke Okure, Madam Esther, Frank Ali. Sumbo, why are you alone there? Please kindly move here. Kindly come and join the League of Women here. State coordinators and other distinguished women wing of the profession. You are all welcome. It is my honor to re-welcome Mr. President and Chairman of Council, Estate Surveyor Valua, Jombulo Osarome Amayevo, First Vice President, Estate Surveyor Valua, Victor Alonge, Management Committee and Council members, all present here to the 2024 Women's Day program taking place at this venue. I would like to welcome most warmly the National Women Leader, Estate Surveyor Valua, Bridget Oroshayi, officers of the wing, and all our noble women to the program. Let me start by thanking Mr. President again for bringing us together to celebrate a constellation of women leaders and women members of our noble profession, and to appreciate the essential role of these women of courage, vision, and achievement. You push the frontiers of women's leadership and pave the path for women leaders and the female gender to follow in their footsteps and become true leaders. I am proud that a lasting legacy of this administration is that women were made a very formidable unit with strong commitment to the development of our great institution. On the theme, Women's Day program, Unlocking Innovation in Real Estate Practice for Sustainable Growth, I would like to reiterate that the realm of real estate, just as other profession sectors, and even all human endeavor, is rapidly evolving and undergoing a phase of transformation, driven and enhanced by technological advancement and changing consumer demands. To remain relevant and impactful, therefore, practitioners of the profession must intentionally and consistently embrace innovations and key to evolving technological trends for best global practices. That is the surest key to unlocking wealth for sustainable economic development and growth. And that makes the theme very, very timely and appropriate. I am very persuaded that we will be very impacted by our very sound, knowledgeable speakers, Estate Surveyor and Valua Professor Timothy Nubi, a fellow of the institution, Estate Surveyor and Valua Isoke, Estate Surveyor and Valua Ogechi Wechi, and of course, the moderator, a lady of excellence, Estate Surveyor and Valua Jumoke Akure, is here to do, all of them are here to do a good job as usual. And trust women with leadership and experience is a different set of skills and imaginative perspectives, structural and cultural differences that derives more effective solution. Our women leader, Estate of and Valor Bridget, your leadership and accomplishment are an inspiration to the leadership and everyone in the institution. I applaud you for your passion for women's empowerment and thank you for breaking many ceilings for our noble women and for the institution. The contributions of the women in helping to position the institution for the attainment of its objective and goals, especially in this challenging time and under your watch, will always be appreciated. History will be very, very kind to you, madam. Though you have made important strides, yet your work is far from finished. And that is why you must keep working towards a better institution. I will close by advising you and the wing to please continue to work more closely with the leadership of the institution and council. There can be no true development of the institution without the empowerment of women. I urge you all stakeholders to redouble efforts in the push for women participation and contribution to the development of this noble profession. On that note, I want to congratulate all of you for organizing the 2024 Women's Day program. I wish you a fruitful deliberatation and a very, very impacting outing. Thank you all for your commitment and your passion. I'm so honored and humbled to have you here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. This is the clap is not really good. Yes, thank you so much. That is really from a fatherly advice and a fatherly encouragement. So really want to thank you, sir. Thank you so much for what you do and the encouragement to this particular association. Thank you so much. While we wait for other things, I think the Edo women, you really need to come and do your presentation while we wait for other things. At least come and welcome us. Maybe because of it's Igbo. If it's in Igbo land, you first of all present cola before we start talking to you. Not even for us to start talking before presentation. Because if you do not present cola to us, it will mean that you do not welcome us. So at this juncture, we want to invite the Edo branch of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers Women Wing to come and welcome their guests. Thank you. Please, we are really running short of time. Okay. Edo State is this is cultural field state. Please, fast. Please, one of our guests is working with time. Please do that fast. Thank you. Five minutes. Come on. Wait. Fast. You need another mic? After dancing,
Naisime wabokia iwina no wamure samwese naisime wabokia iwina no wamure samwese. Naisime wabokia iwina no wamure samwese naisime wabokia
iwina no wamure samwese
NIESV Amanyawo Jombo National President of NIESV Wabokia First Vice President NIESV Alonge Victor Mawabokia Edo State Female Coordinator NIESV Idekiti our national wing female wing president Oraye Bridget Mawabokia Obokia Commissioner of Physical Planning Isoke Obokia Mawabokia Nanu wamure
samwese
naisime wabokia iwina no wamure
samwese
naisime wabokia iwina no wamure
samwese
naisime wabokia iwina no wamure samwese
abokia manivye dotuwa wayabokia
manivye dotuwa wayabokia Mawabokia NIESV Bature Ali Abokia sir Second Vice President of NIESV Abokia Manivya dotuwa Wayabokia Manivya dotuwa
Edo women's wing to
Wayabokia
Edo women's wing to
Wayabokia
Edo women's wing to
Wayabokia
Manivya do to
Wayabokia
Manivya do to
Wayabokia
Abokia
Manivya dotuwa Wayabokia
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful one. Although I didn't even understand what you people are saying. I don't know if you are telling us to go home. Okay, yes, I know you've welcomed us so much. Please, another round of applause for these wonderful women of NIESV. They are noble women. Thank you so much. Thank you. Not to waste all the time again, we want to get into the real business of the whole real theme. You know, our theme this year is unlocking wealth through innovation in real estate practice for sustainable growth. We have seasoned estate surveyors and valuers who are going to tell us more about this. Please, I want you to listen very well. We have, in fact, estate surveyors and valuers, we have them. We have real stock in them. And the people who are going to talk to us today, well, I don't want to preempt whatever they will say, but I know that the stuff is there. Okay, but before then, there's a link that was sent in your platform, in the coordinator's platform. Please send it to your state platform. That link, if you tap on it, it will now bring out where you are going to send your questions to. And the moderator will see it. Before I'll have to be calling them one after the other. Thank you. So let them just speak while the welcome rights are going on. Okay. Okay. For say, that's what I was even thinking. I thought you will even present the welcome right before you start dancing. But now we are told that you are supposed to present your welcome rights. Please, I think in a jiffy, can the Ego State Women Wing come up and present their welcome rights before we start? And if your welcome right is not fine, we'll start going from here. But I know that you are ready for us. Please, 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 please. Can we have them immediately so that we'll continue from where we stopped? The welcome ride from Edo branch of NIESV Women Wing. They are coming up with their welcome rides. Thank you so much. No, okay. Please. You will also give us your traditional thing. All these ones are you both drink. Yes, I trust you. Lead coordinator, please. Coordinator, please.
very distinguished members of the profession. Okay. I want to stand on the existing protocols. Before us here, we have a cola nut, bitter cola, sweets, garden egg, ground nut, crates of malt, bottles of wine, apple, chivita drink, and the cola nut is wedged with, how much? Every wedged with the sum of 5,000 naira by the Edo State branch. On behalf of, and garden egg, beautiful garden egg. We are used to eating garden egg at our meetings. It's one of our favorites. So on behalf of Edo State branch, I present this to the national body, Women Wing, as our welcoming right to them from Edo State. As you eat this, you are eating good health. We are eating sound mind. We are eating unity. We are eating oneness. And oneness will stand in this institution. All this we ask in His gracious name. Thank you, and thank you. So, who is supporting the wedging of the cola nut? Do I carry the tray? Second vice. Support, please. 10,000 naira. Past president, Elder Patola Ajayi. Beautiful, 10,000 naira. Our mama, 5,000 naira. Everybody, they answer in Papa name. So she has made her own contribution. Thank you so much. Then, wedging. My commissioner, our sister, that has made us proud, 10,000 naira. Thank you. Okay, that's good. Second vice has paid out of, no. Yes. Then we move from state to state. Huh? Oh, you wanted to whisper to me? Thank you. So, let's go to our national leaders. Oh, beautiful. Our mama says 5,000. Note it, 5,000. 5,000. Deputy leader, 5,000. Our financial secretary, 5,000. State by state, Abia. Is Abia here? FCT, they are that way. Let's go there. Ma? They are taking notes. Okay. Can I have that direction? Not this one you want me to do for you. Adamawa. Akwa Ibom. Adamawa. They are responding. How much? 2,000. Thank you so much. Anambra. Bayelsa. Bayelsa should be here. It's close by now. Bayelsa, this way. Bayelsa. How much for us? Yes.
5,000.
5,000 Bayelsa. Which state? Abia, no problem. You are growing. We recognize that. Okay, we ask the national to send that. You will transfer to them. Cross River, Delta, Anambra. How much? How much? Anambra, 3,000. Thank you. Ebonyi. Edo women collectively, 10,000. Delta, how much? Delta, 4,500. Edo, because we have already presented. We have presented, okay. Kano. Is that yes? Ekiti. Enugu.
Imo 5,000.
Imo 5,000.
Yeah.
Kaduna. Yes, we are rounding up. Kogi, Kwara, Lagos.
20,000.
Kwara 5,000. Lagos. Nasarawa. Lagos 10,000.
Did I hear 20,000 from Lagos?
10,000. Lagos said 10,000. Akwa Ibom. How much?
Have you called FCT?
Akwa Ibom 2,000. Ekiti 5,000. FCT.
Yes. Is it 20?
FCT.
FCT?
Yes, 5,000.
5,000. Ogun. Ondo. Oyo.
Okay.
Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau,
Okay.
Rivers, Zamfara.
Thank you
Rivers.
so much. Good.
Good.
Round of applause for them.
15,000.
That is it.
Rivers is there. Plateau. Oh, beautiful. How? 10,000 support for Edo women. Plateau 3,000.
A round of applause.
FCT, what did they say? 10,000.
5,000.
Oh, don't worry, we'll ask the national.
5,000.
5,000. Thank you,
FCT,
thank you,
five-
thank you. Thank you so
it
much. So, hand it over.
Okay.
to
Thank
her.
you so much.
So,
We are
there
still
are
waiting
some
for
that
other.
want,
While we are doing,
the
other
account
people
number
can
for
still
transfer. Some
wage the
states.
cola. Thank
Good,
you so
good.
much, Edo.
And the general platform,
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
state by state, yes.
We
yes,
don't really
yes.
have time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. All other states, you can still represent your state. If it is in Igbo land, they say, my name will not miss. Afame Fula. So you go and record your state. If not, your Afa will fuola. Okay, right now, we are now going to, you want to support? Okay.
Yes. Permit me to stand on existing protocol. Well, I am from Oyo State, but I was born in Benin. Yeah. Wakoyo. Nenya Wako. But over your biking. Yes, but EMA over don't know. Over San. EMA. So I will support, you know, as an estate surveyor from Oyo State, 10,000. As somebody born and brought up in Benin, 40,000. A total of 50.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We are looking for people from FCT. FCT, because this is your five. I'll have to put 0 behind it. Yes.
Thank you very much. Permit me to stand again on the already established protocol. I'm from Kwara State, a true born of Kwara State. So I'm supporting Kwara State with a sum of 10,000. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. We keep on supporting them as we go. Maybe after our citation, after our panel session, we can still support. We can continue to support. Okay. We are now getting to the business of the day. To handle this session, we want to call on our moderator of today's program. And the moderator of this panel discussion, I need to invite ESV Olutosin to come and read the citation of the moderator of this panel discussion. The moderator is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Adejumoke Akure. Please, a round of applause for her. She is a fellow. Well, the ESV Estate Surveyor and Valuer Olutosi will now tell us who Estate Surveyor and Valuer Adejumoke Akure is. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am ESV Olutosin Bamigbola, a fellow of the institution. And I want to recognize the president in absentia, the first vice president, the second vice president, and our woman leader, and our past president, sir. Daddy, good morning, sir. And all fellows seated, associates, and every other person. Good morning, everybody. Okay, my assignment here is simple. I want to read the citation of ESV Akure, fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyor, MRICS, in a professional career spanning over 27 years, which started off in estate management. Adejumoke Akure has accumulated extensive experience in property management, valuation, agency, facility management, hospitality and hospital operations management, healthcare services management, technologies, training, and audit services, specializing in the field of facility management with a special bias for hospitality, healthcare environment, and other special public use facilities. She has gained recognition and respect as well as practical experience in hospitality and healthcare center setup, management, continuous service improvement, and customer service in both the hospital and pre-hospital spaces and guest houses. She has coordinated and supported international quality accreditation such as JCI, that is Joint Commission International, and COSASA, Council of Health Services Accreditation of South Africa. She also served as an invited quality auditor for the COSASA team in Nigeria. She conducts various international medical fact-finding project teams in Nigeria, workshops, seminars, and gives presentation with organizations such as the Society for Quality Healthcare in Nigeria, where she's a quality accreditation surveyor. In 2018, she moved back into the mainstream real estate markets as a partner with Benga Olaniyan and Associates, Stroke Estate Links Limited. Just as 2020 unfolded, the coronavirus pandemic struck. She was engaged as a healthcare operations and facility management consultant to support the setup of the COVID-19 treatment center in Victoria Island. A 76-bed center with 100-bed ICU. Upon setup and along with the rest of our team, she managed the center and was responsible for both human facilities and medical resources. This involvement has earned her special attention and mention in the reputable Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, UK, RICS, with an article in the reputable Modus magazine of RICS and our local community. She continues her consultancy in healthcare operations management, real estate development, especially affordable housing, and facility management through Intelligence Space Limited, where she is the MD stroke CEO, as well as being part of other expressions. Adejumoke is a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers and a registered estate surveyor and valuer, as well as a member of Royal Institute Chartered Surveyors, RICS, etc. Adejumoke is a passionate outliner with a very creative mind. She spends time in coordinating etiquette and moral clubs for school children, as well as business etiquette, training in the corporate world. She's a corporate MC and a life improvement speaker. Everybody, let's bid welcome Adejumoke Akure.
Wow, that's a beautiful one, ma'am. You're welcome, ma. You're welcome. I think from here, you're the moderator, so you take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sis. Bless you. It's exactly 12 noon, so I am privileged to say good afternoon. No, I need to wait till 12:01 so that I can say good afternoon. While waiting, I want to appreciate my bio. It's looking a little too long for such a virtually disadvantaged person like myself, so I might have to, bring it a little bit down. I want to ask that for some of us who are still at the back, I want there to be empty spaces behind you. Please, let's come up so that we can network. The essence of coming here is not just to listen to the talk, but just also to network as well. So please, as much as possible, yes, I know it's colorful for us to be around our state members, but at the same time, I think it's important for us to also meet other people and get to take a lot of relationship and numbers and cards back when we go back to our various states. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, noble sisters. Thank you to the I table on the lower section. All protocols duly observed, but I think you have not finished your work. You need to do the citation of the other speaker. Don't give me extra.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the first person on the panel list is Professor Timothy Benga Nubi. Professor Timothy Benga Nubi. And to read this he's going to talk on exploring alternative financing models for Nigerian real estate projects. To read the citation of Professor Nubi is no other person than estate surveyor and valuer Lillian Ejimofo.
Good morning, everyone. All protocol duly observed. Citation of Professor Timothy Benga Nubi. Professor Timothy Benga Nubi leads the Center for Housing and Sustainable Development at University of Lagos. The center, which was established with a grant from African Development Bank, conducts research, delivers a capacity building courses and academic program in the field of housing and real estate development and management. He is committed to tackling homeless and poverty through housing and urban development scholarship and advocacy. He founded the Ideal Habitat Initiative, a grassroots NGO, as a means of encouraging a cooperative approach at home ownership through urban regeneration and new builds. He is passionate about finding lasting solutions to Nigerians' housing and urban management problems. Between 2015 and 2017, Professor Nubi was Dean of Faculty of Environmental Science, University of Lagos. In 2006, he was appointed to the Technical Board of Nigeria Federal Housing Authority, FHA. He also plays a major role in the formation and development of Real Estate Development Association of Nigerian Formation and Development of Real Estate Development Association, RADAN, where he served as an executive member, Southwest coordinator, and worked closely with the then president, Alhaji Lateef Jakande. He is currently a member of the RADAN Board of Trustees. He also served on the advisory member of the RADAN Board of Trustees. He also served as an advisory council of Habitats for Humanity, Nigerian, and as well as the First World Communities Limited. Under Professor Nubi's leadership, the center won the right to host a Center of Excellence in Urbanization and Habitable Cities in Africa under the auspices of the African Research Universities, ARUA. The UK Research and Innovations, UKRI, Global Challenge Research Fund, Professor Nubi's wealth of experience in engaging with government, communities, NGOs, and private sector organizations in Nigeria. The UK, the US, and the Netherlands had led to the emergence of crucial policy documents and to the implementation of key projects in housing and urban regeneration in Nigeria. He is currently the Director, Research Management Office, University of Lagos. Please, with standing ovation, let's make welcome our Professor Timothy Wenga Nubi. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sylvia and Valua Lillian. Please, that one is not for our Professor Nubi. You don't know Professor Nubi. He is the father of the outstanding lady that drove from UK to Nigeria. He is the one. Please, a sound of applause for him. Yes, sir. That is what we are talking about. That is it. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you. And welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. Now, the next person on our list is a woman of substance. Esther Soveo and Valua, Honorable Mrs. Please don't, if I don't pronounce it well, don't bother me. Please, I will start again. Esther Soveo and Valua, Honorable Mrs. Isokane Omo. I think I got it right. Please, to read the citation of this our elegant lady and noble woman is Esther Soveo Nora from Edo State. Please step up and come and give us the citation of this our elegant, noble woman here. Thank you very much. You're welcome, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Standing on all existing protocol. ESV, Honorable Mrs. Isoke Omo, FNISV. Born on 28 April 1970 in Warri, Delta State, Nigeria. Her primary, secondary, and first degree education were completed in Nigeria. She has an MBA in Business Administration from the prestigious University of Hull, an MBA in United Kingdom, and holds a certificate in Executive Strategy for Results from London Business School, LBS. She has attended several management courses and trainings relevant to the different positions she has held in her career. With over 30 years work experience in Nigeria and United Kingdom, she has held several key managerial positions that have brought her training and experience to bear. In the private sector, she has acted as head corporate banking and was the managing director of ASO Investment and Development Company, AIDC Limited, before accepting a political appointment in Edo State as the executive chairman of Edo Development and Property Agency in July 2017. Yes, at this point you need to clap. She was elevated and appointed as the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development and was reappointed as the Commissioner for Physical Planning, Housing, Urban, Regional Development following a dissolution of a cabinet reshuffle by the Edo State Governor in June 2023. ESV, Estate Survey and Valuer, is known as an achiever and has received several awards and recognitions for her work and contributions to housing delivery and planning. She started the first purpose-built luxury apartment block, Gulf Mills, in Benin City. She is supervising the preparation and delivery of the Edo State Regional Development and Benin City master plans, which are 30-year physical plans tied to the Edo State Socio-Economic Development Plan. Yeah, at this point you need to clap, really. Which is targeted at making Edo great again by ensuring that Edo State is the destination of choice for investment to live, work, and play by 2050. On the back of her innovations and achievements, she has been transforming the ministry through the application of technology in planning, development, and building control, urban renewal and regeneration initiatives to deliver a sustainable built environment in the state. In 2023, she led her ministry to cross the 1 billion naira mark in revenue generation. You need to clap, really. A first in history since the creation of the ministry. She is spearheading the development of Edo State's first new town project, Coral City, a dream which had remained latent for 15 years. The first phase, which commenced in November 2023, upon completion, will provide state-of-the-art infrastructure and a thriving community of over 50,000 people with an 18-hole golf estate, multi-purpose corridors, residences, commercial, recreational, and light industrial businesses to ensure that the city is self-sustaining. I wish the photograph was up. Yeah, thank you, ma. ESV Soken is a member of the Institute of Directors, IOD, and an associate member of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. She is an independent director of the Affordable Housing Company and AIDC Limited. Locally and internationally, she has delivered several papers at different conferences and gatherings of professionals. As a purpose-driven, creative, and innovative personality, which she truly is, the numerous awards for business initiatives and target achievements keep growing in leaps and bounds. Streaming from her charitable heart, she runs a charity for the less privileged and as well as being a mentor to many, including me. She loves cooking, dancing, entertaining, and reading. Please join me welcome Honorable Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Isoke Omo. You're welcome, ma. God bless you.
You're welcome, ma. You see, putting a round head in a round hole and not putting a one. Okay, please, while we are still talking, can we have an standing ovation to our first Vice president in the person of Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Victor Alonge. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, as we continue, we have the last panelist, who is Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Dr. Mrs. Ogechi Wichie. Please, a round of applause for her. And the person to read her citation is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Jumoke Owo Eye. You're welcome. Please, a round of applause. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, the first Vice President. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry. We've been in the hall, so I thought you were still in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. And welcome the first Vice President and every protocol duly observed. Estate Surveyors and Valuer, Dr. Mrs. Ogechi Iweche. Ogechi Iweche Andeline Iweche is a lecturer at River State University and a practitioner in estate surveying and valuation profession. She holds a PhD in estate management and an MSc in real estate, land management, and sustainable development option, both from River State University, Nigeria. She can be classified as being in the Sustainable Generation Group and specializes in urban and land policy, sustainable development, feasibility and viability appraisal, and policy ideas for decision making and social justice, especially for the vulnerable. That's where I belong as well. Well done. She's a project and technical report reviewer, and she has been involved in achievement of project review. As a lover of God, she believes in giving back for the betterment of others. Can we give her a round of applause? That should be our value as a woman, giving back to the society. God bless you, ma'am.
Thank you, Estate Surveyors and Valuer Jumoke. And right now, I want to hand over the microphone to our moderator. Thank you. I think my job has finished for now. Thank you.
Now that I have the microphone, I will decide whether your job has finished. Be on standby. Good afternoon once again. And I just went for a little correction downstairs from my teacher. I went to learn how to say adopting already established protocol, not standing. So I had to go to the MNI ourselves to get the full gist. So please let us realize it is adopting already established protocol, not standing. Thank you. I'm happy I've taught something. Please, there'll be a contribution basket going around for this information that I've passed. Please feel free to use your mind. Again, I want to welcome you all to this wonderful occasion. I'll be moderating this great panel. The way the event is going to go, we're going to have each of our panelists give us 10, because we know each and every one of them are time constrained. So I realize that they're going to be speaking out of their system. They're not going to be speaking to it. So it's a privilege to have such a high level of panelists. We're going to start the panel, the individual panel conversation with the digital. We're starting with number one, which is the digital solutions for property efficiency in the Nigerian market. And I believe that is going to be taken by, that's Dr. Weche. Okay, I reckon that's Professor Nubi. That's Professor Nubi. That's Professor Nubi. Now, what has happened is, this is in-house. We've made a little technical error. So, being the versatile professional that we are, and being the versatile professionals that they are, Professor Nubi is going to be speaking to digital solutions or alternative forms of for property management efficiency. Sir, can you speak to the event for us?
you say something? Okay. Oh, I should sit. Komora. How can I sit down to present? So, sincerely speaking, I prepared a slide which I've given the technical team, and is on. Yeah,
Sir, please go ahead and speak on your slide.
I should.
Please go ahead and speak on your slide, sir.
Okay. I think it's better. Luckily for me,
Yes, sir. I think it's better I speak on the slide because at the end of the day, noble colleagues, what we are trying to achieve is to unlock wealth options. So
Yes.
as we get it, we are going to be able to open our minds and look at the
Yes.
explosive rates of exploding
Yes.
options and tapping into this $1 trillion GDP that we are talking about. So no knowledge is going to be wasted here. I ask you that you open your minds and get your questions ready. During the session, we are going to be using Slido. We want to go tech. So we're going to be using www.slido.com. It's going to be projected as the project goes along with a number. That code, if you slide it into that hyperlink, you're going to be able to put your questions there without using microphone to say, excuse me. Once again, it will be projected www.slido.com. There's a number there. When you go to that website and you put that number there, it will show you the women's group. So please, that's how we're going to use our question. So, sir.
yeah, for the presentation, just let me crave your indulgence to stand so that my brother and the incoming, the first vice president, the second vice president, my great brother and sister there, and every one of us that are seated here, with much respect and appreciation to God, I stand before you. I honor this invitation despite all odds, because it's so important to me. The invitation is coming from a woman, from the woman wing, and I could not refuse it. If it's from the general body, I might say no, because my mother made me whatever I am to God and my mom. She stood by us, a woman who could not write her name. She could not write her name. I remember our fourth born wedding. My mom had to sign, and the biro tore the certificate. After taking 3 months to rehearse Olufunke, he turned the certificate, the marriage certificate, because thank God for good praise worship in the church. It took her almost 30 minutes to write Olufunke on 4 places. But this amazing woman, unsung hero, great woman of Africa, whom my daughter took after, very fearless. She trained us. I, as the firstborn, God helped me to become a professor. We are 6 in number. All of us have minimum master's degree. And all of us have minimum master's degree. I'm the firstborn. I became a professor of estate management. And the lastborn, the 6th, is a medical consultant. And is a senior lecturer about to become a professor. So, from this woman who could not read and write. But all our NYC kits, when we finish NYC, we give it to her. She used it to farm. She used our NYC kits to do farming, to support us. So anything from a woman, I will honor it over and over and over and over. I appreciate your invitation. I don't take it for granted. I'm supposed to be with my daughter because she's returning soon. We are going around since the time she came around, but I said this journey is a compulsory journey. I could not cancel it. And Eric made it more difficult by canceling my return tomorrow. So I have to buy another ticket at the airport this morning to return this evening. So it's a privilege to be with us. When I got my topic, well, all things work together for good. All things work together for good. When I got my topic, alternative, I said alternative. You can be thinking of alternative when you really understand the original. So you can be thinking of alternative when you have understood the original and the original doesn't work. Then you begin to think of alternative. But as far as this country is concerned, we have not really understood the original. So that's why I said understanding the real estate finance value chain. We might just be laying the foundation within this just 10 minutes. But I wish I will be able to communicate. And it's led for this here of today to say, how can we fix these things that are not working? How can we fix these things that are not working? So, like I said, they give two of us the same topic. So she will eventually speak on alternatives. So let's understand it. Let's move. It's so many slides. So I'll just pick one or two. Understanding the housing finance system. There are things we have to understand. The system of housing finance provides funds to entities and individuals seeking to purchase housing. The system operates at various stages of development all over the world, and they are structured divide given the economic, political, and social circumstances in which they operate. However, all finance systems attempt to facilitate the flow of funds from those possessing them, the savers, to those seeking to purchase houses or real estate. All housing finance systems must raise funds, manage the mechanism and program put in place to move funds and manage the risk inherent in financial and housing market all over the world. This was prepared as far back as 2009. Housing or real estate is like a car engine. And I kept on sharing with people that you have a beautiful car. Nobody will say, I have a beautiful car. This my car is so beautiful. The only problem I have with it is the carburetor. You don't have a car. I traveled to Ife to examine the PhD students. I was coming back. Immediately I got to Ibadan toll gate, moved towards Lagos. This rain started. I tried to apply my wiper. It was not working. I had to park. At that point, with the wiper not functioning well, I didn't have a car. I have a car. The engine is working well. But I couldn't move. I have to park. So, this real estate finance system is a system. And like a car engine, every component must be working well before we can say we have a system. And these are narratives. The system all over the world. Since I'm standing before you, please retain the slides, please. It will help us. So that not much time is wasted. Go back to the slide and go to the next slide. Nobody needs my face. I'm standing already before them. Thank you. Go to the next slide, please. The mortgage market. Until we fix the mortgage market, we are not discussing alternative. And where we have to really understand this thing is that all over the world, a child grew up, attended university, first home buyer, in UK, in America, in Switzerland, all over the world, people will say, I want to buy a house. That's the language. I want to buy a house. But in Nigeria, it is, I want to build a house. And that's where things fell apart. Until we come to, I want to buy a house, which is the universal language. We can't operate in this global market. When we look at the portion of the mortgage was defined as the second invention that changed the entire world. After the 18th century invention of steam engine that brought about industrialization, mortgage is put on the same platform, on the same level as the invention of the 28th century in America. The steam engine was invested in UK that brought industrialization that relieved man from the body of carrying piece of body. But the invention of mortgage is an invention. In the elementary real estate school, we were taught characteristics of real estate, heterogeneity, immobile, indivisible. With mortgage introduced, all those were demystified. Under mortgage, property can be divided. You can joint own. You can own just a single portion of a big real estate infrastructure. So, but unfortunately, the mortgage is not in existence in Nigeria. And we have to grow it before we can really say that we have a real estate market. All over the world, the quantum, you can go to the next slide, please. Go to the next slide. God will help me. Continue. Like I said, many slides. These are on real estate. These are continue. Okay, go back to that. So, the real estate value chain, real estate development value chain, land acquisition, entitlement, infrastructure, vertical development, primary market, secondary market. Why did Governor Fashola, why did he say that there is no housing deficit in Nigeria? He said there is housing, people are saying there is housing deficit in Nigeria. We have more than 50,000 vacant houses in Lekki corridor. We have more than 20,000 in Abuja. Because there are houses that were there, the Nigerian economy is still cash and carry. I see people say that there is real estate, there is property to buy in Lekki, cost 150 million. And they say there is mortgage. Pay 50% in January. Pay 20%, another 25% in 3 months. How can you call that mortgage? That's no mortgage. Mortgage is when you, I kept on telling my students that, look, when you get to a bank and you are giving money to go and lay foundation and build, you are only giving construction loan. It's no mortgage. It's a construction loan. Because the word mortgage, the house is there. It's a lien. You move to that property. Immediately you pick your mortgage. Immediately you pay, you move to the property. But this one you get to, they said they give you mortgage, you lay the foundation, you build it for 1 year. By the time you submitted your application for loan, the house, the QS cost is 5 million. By the time you are getting to little level, cost of construction has risen to 7 million. The project is abandoned. You have to pay back the mortgage, loan, the loan you took, and everywhere became messy because we didn't take time to build the system. The mortgage system is built. The mortgage system is consciously developed. And until we develop that sector, we'll just be parabolating. There will be developers that will build houses. People will not have. And that's why we have stealing. That's why people are stealing in government. Because when you can get a loan, when you can get mortgage to buy a property, and you pay back for 25 years, you can. So that's why we have to look at the mortgage system. Continue to the next slide. City reflects the way the houses were being financed. When you get to a city, that city is well organized. There is infrastructure. That city, they have a well-structured finance system where people can go and get. But where there is no well-structured finance system, people will lay foundation, plant cocoyam on it. After 2 years, they return to begin the wall. After 25 years, according to Omiri 1976, appeared 1996, appeared. It takes Nigeria an average period of 15 to 22 years to complete a house. They call it gradual construction, progressive construction. And in such a place, you see slum. This is a picture. Okay, continue. This is our story in the country. A room is, you lay foundation for 16 rooms, you raise 2 rooms. But what we are saying is that 70% to 80% of Nigerian population, this is their system. All we are dealing with are just the remnant that we are going through structure. And that's why our students, they finish school, there is no job for them. They now see them doing dancing, doing music, doing all sorts of things. Because there is no job for them. Because the system to really develop, continue with the next slide. Housing finance world trend. Treasury bank, the secondary market, the primary market, all of them must be fully developed. All of them must be fully developed. International capital market, domestic capital market, term savings. Let me quickly say this. I kept telling my students, I kept telling them that, look, what is real estate development? Real estate development is a long-term investment. Then when you get to the bank, what does the bank offer? Short-term. So when you take a short-term funding to finance a long-term project, there is simply what we call financial mismatch. And it cannot work because long-term, short-term finance comes at high risk and high interest rate. When you go to take a facilities for 26 at 26% rate to fund a project that has a yield of less than 10%, is dead on arrival. We have so many people that have gone into it, some almost committed suicide. How can you take a loan at the rate of 26% to fund real estate project? How can you? But they were forced to do that because we've not gone through the value chain. We have not gone through the value chain. And I will conclude by saying that, look, until we get to the capital market, which is the secondary market, until we are able to look at the pension fund. Pension fund is the biggest accumulation of fund in the entire African continent. It's about 10 trillion now, the pension fund. And the law, this alternative we are talking about, one of the alternatives of funding real estate in Nigeria today is the pension fund. But the pension fund allows 40% to flow into real estate development, but only through instrument, through MBBS and REITs. Those are the only 2 ways that you can benefit from pension fund. Do we know how big 10%, 40% of 10 trillion that is available to flow into real estate. But how do we unlock it? You cannot unlock it if you are not operating at capital market level. You can only benefit from this pension fund through REIT or mortgage-backed security. That's what the law says. But how many REITs have we floated in Nigeria? How many MBBS do we have? Mortgage-backed security do we have? Then the question that comes is that how do we, as essence of yours and valuer, play major role in real estate development and management? How can we become big that will be able to operate at the capital market? We must be big to operate in the capital market. We must be big to access this huge pot of long-term funding. So those are the ways we have to position ourselves. It's not now, but it's a process that we can start. That within a short time, we begin to see what really baffles me is that when I see development in the country, development is one of those things that we are taught in real estate school. Housing is one of those things we have taught in real estate school. When I look at those who are really embarking upon development, real estate development, we find out that essence of yours were not playing significant role. So these areas we have to be there to participate. So the resource is there in the capital market. But the instrument with which we should assess it, we don't have it. So the question we have to ask ourselves through seminars, through workshop, not this 10 minutes presentation, is that how do we position ourselves to access this big pot of money in the capital market? So that we will not want to do real estate development and will be going to banks to take loan at 26% when we can do. About a few weeks ago, I heard that Wema board raised 50 billion bond. I was jumping. Wema board raised 50 billion bond. You can't raise 50 billion from commercial banks. So this alternative funding for a robust real estate development, where is it available? Let me ask the question. Capital market. The money they are 10 trillion of pension fund is the capital market. And the law allow 40% of it to flow into real estate. Because we are not tapping into it, because of the way we position ourselves, 80% of the pension fund is eventually borrowed by federal government. It's eventually borrowed by, but it's something that should go into development of infrastructure, of real estate project that can really develop the country. So the question is that, what should we do to access this capital market? How do we position ourselves in the next 10 years? It might not be wake up tomorrow and say we are going to capital market. But we can intentionally develop our capacity to grow institutions among these noble institutions that will have the capacity to access this pot of fund. And subsequent question and answer, probably we can unlock. Because it's there. We need to unlock it. I believe that other alternatives of mobilizing ourselves into cooperatives, if we have time, we will talk on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause again for our speaker. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Prof said it's not a conversation just for today. We have to start thinking about. That's why we said sustainable growth. It has to be something that we can maintain over a long period of time, ethically and bearing the future in mind. Having said that, I would like to call our second panel speaker, SS Ovia and Valua, Honorable Issa Omo, to talk about exploring alternative financing model for real estate projects. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me adopt the well-established protocol, learning from Lajumoke. Now, you know, it's very difficult to talk after a professor, like Professor Nubi. So, and then, unfortunately, or fortunately, we're given the same topic. So when he was talking, I'm saying, this is what I want to say now. This is exactly what I want to say. But at the end of the day, there are so many things that we can say. We're here today, we're talking about the $1 trillion economy. And the opportunities are there. But without the value chain of real estate, that is from conception to exit, being funded, we cannot do anything. We can only be doing what we are seeing in the market now, which is the 80% of people that will build block on block and use 25 years of their working time to finish one house. Or the other spectrum, which is a very niche, small part of the market, that is the high end, where a lot of money, wherever I get it, is irrelevant. But if I have it, I can just put it down and buy. Because obviousif the bank is offering 26%, it is not for construction finance. If you go to the developed world, you will see construction banks, infrastructure banks. You will see different options. He talked about the UK. It's a normal thing to walk into the bank and talk about getting a mortgage. It's the normal thing. You will hardly hear people say they want to build a house. So we're looking at real estate. It is key. 5% contributor to the GDP. It can do much more. Much, much more. But if you look at 5%, even in the context of what our GDP is, it's a huge amount. And then there are a lot of things that are working against us doing real estate the way it should be done and opening the market up for different options so that our people who want to acquire property for whatever reason, not necessarily because you want to live in it, even as an investment, should be able to do that with different options available. And should be able to do that with the resources they have. What do I mean by that? The people that are looking for mortgages in other climes depend on their salaries. Because they calculate your mortgage with your salary. They'll give you times 3, times 4 of whatever you earn. So if you look at that today, if you remember, there are so many schemes that have been put for housing for all by different governments. And most of the time, the core of Nigerians do not qualify. Because the core of Nigerians are civil servants. And when they do the affordability, they will not pass. Or when they pass, they tell you entitlement is 2 million naira. So what are you going to do with 2 million, 3 million, 4 million? There is nothing. Even buying the land now with inflation at 33.2% as at March, you can't do much. So he said a lot of things. Real estate is long-term in nature, capital intensive, and then you need to find a way to work through that. So I thought, instead of me to go through all what he has said, let me go with using case studies to see what are the different options. There are different options. He's talked about the money available in the capital market, but what is required? Jumoke was asking me, okay, so this money is available. How was UAC and SunTrust able to do it? I said they have assets. And that's what Wema Board also has. So they have the balance sheet to raise this capital. A lot of people who want to delve into this do not have. And we have also not clustered ourselves in a way to be able to be negotiating force or push to get that. So people that are playing in the real estate market, you find that the same people are doing the same thing all the time and providing properties in the market that most people cannot afford. They cannot afford it. So that leaves us in a dilemma. What do we do? So he's talked about pension funds is there. We have unclaimed dividends, which is another way they used to fund that we have not touched. A lot of us bought shares and stocks when we were young children. We don't even remember where they are. It's sitting down there latent in a bank in Nigeria, puts in some kind of fixed deposit and somebody is eating the money. We have insurance funds. These are the things they use to fund infrastructure and real estate in other climes, because these are long-term money. Okay? If you insure your life now, you're going to say, okay, I'm 50, let me insure for the next 30 years. You are paying small, PSS. Okay? So the person who has your money can use the money to do anything, because it's long-term. The chances that 5,000 people insure and 4,000 of them will die before that is very slim. It is very, very slim. Most of the time, we even have insurance that we don't remember to claim. Am I correct? You don't remember. Third party, did you not pay? You paid, but you don't even remember. So that is also sitting latent, enjoyed by people. We didn't claim. Our savings in the banks, because most of that actually have savings accounts really do not go to them. Am I correct? That's why it's called savings. So those things are there. They're cooperative. There are different things. So what I will do is I'll just call out different options that are available for funding. Then I'll use case studies of my experience. My experience, because I've worked both in the private sector and in government, doing the same real estate. So there are other things, because even with everything happening, people are still trying to unlock real estate projects. They are trying to fund it with different options. You know, and so I'll look at the two and just say, okay, this is what I have experienced, this is what I have seen, and these are the things that we can do. You know, but they've called things like PPP, which everybody knows, public-private partnerships, because most of the time, main thing you need for the development, you need land, yes, then you need, by the time you get your approval, so that process, you need to get funding, and then you need your exit. Once I put my money down, I must get my money out on a day setting if I want to continue to remain in business. So those are the things that you need. And so for the exit part, we have a major issue, both at the exit and also at the construction. So if in a value chain, you are missing those two major parts, what are you going to do? And now, with the inflation, that you cannot be sure how much you're going to use to finish a property. Even if you start your build small, then there is a problem of you waiting 25 years to get a house. Is that the way we should go? No. So some people have used public partnership, where government might provide the land, the enabling environment, and then get private sector to bring in the funds and then develop. And then develop, and most of the time sell to their people. Most PPPs that we have seen have always been from the government side driven, so that way it's done. But how successful it has been over time is another topic for another day, not for these 10 minutes. That's an option. Now you hear a lot about crowdfunding, everybody's talking about crowdfunding. In other climes as well, they've opened that. But people have to, here in Nigeria is not something that I think, because we don't even trust people. Seeing is believing. So how that is going to work, your guess is as good as mine. Is also an issue, but it's an option in other places where there is structure, governance is in place, people are sure of the people that are doing the transaction, and they are sure that they'll get their monies out. They can come together and crowdfund their project. Mezzanine funding, financing, as it says, it's just a mix of loans and equity financing. So many people as well, most people that start out as estate, you are going to play in estate development. You have some of your money, or maybe you've bought some land over time, and then you want to start. You start on your own and then get some funds to finish. But remember as well that completion is key. Because the faster you are able to close the transaction, the lesser the risk, the cheaper the transaction will be, because you will not be holding the debt for for a long time. Most projects suffer because they cannot complete. Things happen and then you see the project as an abandoned project. In most construction, even if you take off-plan payments, within the life of a project, you can really only collect like 30%. And 30% will not do it for you. So you have to look for other ways to fund. Just leave this. When I come to the case study, I'll deal with those, please. I just want you to read this out so that we can talk about them. They've talked about the real estate investment trust, which we all know is one of the easiest way for us to do it. But he has mentioned the capital markets, mortgage banks, security we need, and the ones that I was aware when it was done. USC Properties PLC did their REIT, SunTrust did one, but the whole process is an issue. Now we have family home funds, funding housing, but of course, even with that, how far is it going? Some of the houses that have been done, that I'm aware of, in many states, where they had to give it out as gifts to the people, because when they did the affordability, some of these people could not even afford to pay. So what is the long-term sustainable funding option that would work for us? Because we are in this reality as it stands today. They tell you there's a 30 million housing deficit, there are vacant properties. What do we do? So we're going to have to pick and choose depending on the peculiarity of the transaction, where it is located, and what is available. So, build to suit, those are agreements where people give you money, you can start building for them. You see a lot of estates in Lagos now, they're doing things like that. But also, those are more high-end than the everyday requirements that we need shelter over our heads. Joint venture partnerships, which you find government plays a lot in that area. Okay? So you find a lot of joint ventures and people as well. Even in the private sector, you see that where somebody has land and then you can bring in the capital and then you agree. You agree a sharing formula to 80, 20, 30, 70, 60, 40, 50, 50, depending on the value of the project and what each person's contribution to that project is. So that's it. And that one is really more of what you see playing out now. Because a lot of people that have the land do not have the capital. It can be families, they have the land, the capital is not there. So they have to get somebody that they can trust or organization they can trust where they can say, okay, fine, we give you the land. So if we develop, you give us X amount of houses, or you give, when you sell, you give us this, depending on what you want. So there are different dynamics that can be arranged into those kind of arrangements. Angel investors, like the name says, people who have a lot of cash, liquidity, and they're willing to trust it to you or your transaction because you have shown that this transaction is bankable, the rate of return makes sense. You know, on average, we're looking at real estate investment running between 20%, 25, 30, 40 if you're really very lucky. But with the way the market is today, if you finish with 10%, you are very lucky. So those are all kinds of options. You know, community-based funding, this one you see most in other climes. But here where government is involved and where you're doing from the government side, a lot of communities have their lands. They want you to come in and engage with them. You have to still look at how does it work for you. Is it bankable? Will I be able to exit? Do I have the off-takers? And things like that. Even the Shylock banks, as I'll call it, because it's short term, they would always ask you, where's your off-taker? Where is your equity? They'll ask you for so many things that at the end of the day, you're frustrated. They'll see, you know, when the money comes in, they'll still lock part of the deposit you are getting. So it's really not a very conducive environment for people to play. Then rent-to-home schemes, we've heard them. The government has tried to do some kind of initiative on it. The success of it has been more pronounced in the developed world than here. Because also the integrity of the person who is renting comes into question. Affordability is done, all that are looked at before you go into such schemes. So for me, I thought, okay, let me look at the things we have done. In the private sector, I've been able to do PPPs, joint ventures that have worked. We have also had those that did not work, because I don't want to come here and deceive anybody. I'm here to tell you as it is for us to be able to make a decision on where to go. Okay? So in the private sector, it's easier to do these transactions than in the government side. That's my experience. But it also means that you have to build the reputation, have bankable projects, and the exit will be clear. The exit has to be clear for anybody to put their money down and believe you. And then there has to be close supervision to make sure you complete to time. Because any overrun will impact, the impact will be deeper for you than the interest, because every overrun has a multiplier impact on your bottom line. So it is very important that you be strict. You have, if you're not on ground, you have to make sure that you have supervisors that you can trust. Because one of the ways to kill your real estate project is pilfering from the sites. So you have to make sure that it's something that you have to do it, understand it, and make sure that you deliver on time. So I thought, okay, let me show you some of the things we've done as bringing it down to Edo State. Because here, in my time that we've been here, we've done PPPs, we've done joint ventures, we've gone to the market to raise bond to fund, and there are the different projects. So this is our Golf Mills project here in Benin City. It's the first modern apartment block we have in Benin. This site used to be our veterinary clinic. For those that are in Benin, am I correct? It was latent for a very long time, right in the heart of the GRA, and it was all for snakes and dogs. And it was there. So I said to the governor, give me the land. And he said, what do you want to do with it? I said, I want to do apartment block. He said, okay, I'll give it to you, but I'm not going to fund you. I cannot. I said, don't worry, we'll look for the funds. So we did the designs, and we sold them off plan. And I have to tell you, I told you about seeing is believing. A lot of people did not believe that we would do it. 26 units, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom apartments. They did not believe we would do it. So a lot of people in Edo did not buy this property. A lot of people in Edo did not buy it. The people that bought were outsiders. Outsiders who come to Benin to do business. But we were able to, from off-plan sale, raise over 30% of what we required. And the balance we got through the bank and then increasing payment. It was finished to time. It's totally fully habited. And I'll tell you what has happened. The rent in this place, this is Benin City. You need to understand what Benin is and what real estate, the potentials that are there. The rents in this place now range from between 7 and 15 million per annum. 2 bedrooms, 7 million. Rent, yes. Today, in Edo State. So this project, because of this project, as I speak to you in Edo today, other people have come into Benin City doing similar things. Ruby Court is there. There are a lot of them that are coming in now. Because also, don't forget, Benin City is a transit city. You can't go anywhere in Nigeria without passing it. So we have a lot of traffic of people coming. And when they come, most of the time they stay. So that's one of the, so this is high end, I have to say to you. Gulf Heights is a consequence, is a consequence of Gulf Mills. We have just started this, and it's fully sold out. Because of that experience, what is putting confidence in this system is, one, the land is the government's own. The government is giving the title, and the government is guaranteeing the process. So I need you to understand that. So people that are coming in know, okay, it is secure. I'm going to get what I have said. I'll round up now. Okay, so this we have just started. I want to show you a low-end one, Emota Gardens. Okay, this project I started when I was in EDPA, and we sold the 2-bedroom for 3 million. Today, the 2-bedroom is selling for about 7.5 million. We have 360 housing units in this. And what we've tried to do internally, what the government has tried to do internally, is to help civil servants purchase this by guaranteeing their gratuity. Okay? Because a lot of them, even based on that amount, 7 million, they will not qualify to buy it based on the salaries that they earn. Remember that state civil service is different from federal. The salary structure is also different. So this is affordable, low end. Then finally, I talked about the Coral City. This is our smart city project, because of what has happened in the urbanization and distortion of development in Benin City, we've created a lot of slums. So we've decided, let's move the pressure from the city center. Let's go and develop a new town that is planned, that is orderly, and that people can afford. So we moved down the airport road, Irira Arogba, for those that know Benin. And then we have this 1,229 hectares of land, divided into 4 portions, A, B, C, and D. We are only doing the portion A now because a new city is not a 5-year project. It's not a 10-year project. It takes time. Abuja will talk about now, started in 1976. So we're only doing the first phase. And the first phase is 329 hectares. And it has 1,300 plots of different different land uses. And we are funding this. Government is bringing the land. And government is bringing the first equity to start the infrastructure. The infrastructure alone is in excess of 60 billion. That is just infrastructure on this phase. I'm talking about the collector roads. You can see the golf course there with golf villas. It's right on the Ogba River. So this is what we're doing. So we're doing this particular first line here. This road already exists. So we're dualizing it. And then there's the collector U road, which is 3.2 kilometers. So that is what, if you do then, all of these are open, you can go and see. And this actually, we have sold over 400 plots of it to different developers. But we are interested in the multi-purpose corridor because for real estate, you must have activity that drives the project. Because if these people have to come all the way from Orogba to come to Benin to trade, then it is a lost project. So if you look at the pink area, there are multi-purpose corridor to encourage people to come in. So the city on its own will live. Another thing we did not have in Benin, which we are putting here, are neighborhood centers. The time Benin City, the way Benin City grew, we never had neighborhood centers. So if you have lived in Benin, by 6 p.m. Benin is dead. It's a sleeping town. Not anymore, but that's how it used to be. So now if you look at it, we see the green clusters. Can you see them? Green and blue, green and blue, green and blue. We have neighborhood centers everywhere to service that area when it gets dark and to make people, encourage people to stay. And that's what we put here, we don't have in Benin, are cemeteries. We bury in our houses and we want to discourage that. So down here, this gray are cemeteries. So we are bringing in developers. We have people from the vaults in Lagos coming. So we're bringing in people to build this. We are not allowing people to build block on block. We can't do that. So we're encouraging developers to come in and we are guaranteeing the process to make sure that they develop houses that people can buy. So that is where we are. It is not all gloom. That's what I want to say. You should venture in. If you don't do, you will not know. And there are different options available. Don't stick to one option. Look at what is possible. While we are trying on the back end to push and put pressure for them to unlock the latent capital tied in the pension funds, we're able to do other things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause again for our panel speaker. Thank you. She said if you don't do, you will not know. Wait. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, our past president. Thank you for the honor. We appreciate you. Thank you all very much. You said if you don't do, you would not know. And we're talking communities. For you to have a community ecosystem that can drive all the kind of things we're talking about, I would like to invite Essence of Young Valor, Dr. Mrs. Gechi Weche. She's going to be talking to us about adopting sustainable building practices in real estate investment. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. I'm standing on the already established protocol. Adopting the already established protocol. Yeah. Thank you, ma. Right. I'm going to be speaking on the topic adopting sustainable building practices in Nigeria's real estate markets. And the aim is unlocking the embedded wealth, unlocking the wealth in the real estate markets using sustainable practices. I'm going to be contextualizing this from Like I said, or my profile says, in the sustainable development generation. As a student, undergraduate level, through the help of Professor Kakulu, my mentor, I was able to attend this United Nations Environment Program on Sustainable Development as a student. So my passion, that is where I got my passion from. Today, we know that we have issues of climate change everywhere, and property and the real estate markets contributes to the effect of climate change, and as well can also help in mitigating this effect. Researches, people have classified the potentials in real estate markets, but somehow they have not looked at it from the wealth that is in it. They see these potentials, but still do not know that these potentials are wealth. Right? And so there is this unwillingness for people to embark on sustainable development practices, especially the fact that they think it is very expensive to embark. But again, now looking at how expensive it is, there is also so much wealth that is in it that is greater than the expense in the real estate development. And so, there are so many studies that have been carried out, the level of preparedness, the level of the willingness of people, there's lack of interest of people trying to go into sustainable practices. And then if you go to the real estate market, go to the slides. In the real estate market, we know that it is very vast. You're looking at the types, the regions, investment options. All these have to interplay for us to have sustainable options. Sustainable building practices, you cannot be talking about it when there is no purpose. It is purpose-driven. And one of the purpose is to mitigate impacts. Whatever impact it is you want to mitigate, that is where the sustainable building practices come to play. And then they have their importance, such as cost efficiency. We carry out sustainable developments for cost efficiency. There are so many other options. And then the most important is that there are benefits. You have the economic, the environmental, and the social. You cannot be talking about sustainable building practices without looking at it from the environmental options, without looking at it from the social options, and then the economic options. What we do in real estate practice most times is just the economic. Everybody's interested in the money, right? And the drive for this money makes us to do shabby practices. So long as we make money, it is enough for us. But we don't know that we lose money for these shabby practices we are into. You can imagine where there is flooding today, and maybe within that area, the properties are fully inundated, right? You could have erosion and all that. A lot is being lost. You have wealth that is lost. Lives are lost. If you classify all these, they are part of the wealth, because wealth is valuable possessions we have. Is that okay? So it is the valuable possession we have. So if we don't carry out these practices in order to mitigate the impact of all the problems we are facing, it then means we are gradually losing the wealth that is embedded in the real estate markets. Looking at the Nigerian Bureau statistics, right? You could see that in 2022, the GDP for the real estate sector was higher than that of 2024. Slowly, it is dropping. It is diminishing. That means that there's something we are not doing right. And then we need to go back to our table and then look at sustainable options, sustainable practices that will help us. And I have looked at it from the property development. If we are to develop today, then we should start right from the design. We should start from the site selection. We should start from the design, from development. And then if we go look at the development, subsequently in management, it becomes easier. We tend to save wealth, we tend to save money, we tend to create wealth. And then we also have comforts of all those who are involved. And come to think of it, this sustainable building practice we are looking at, as we embark on it, the whole, it is more global. Everybody feels the impact. The more we carry out unsustainable practices, the more impact we feel, right? So it has a trickling down effect. All strata, all regions are affected with our practices. So there are strategies. One of them is energy efficiency. We also have water conservation. Energy efficiency in terms of insulations, our lighting systems, and all that. Water conservation, we need to conserve water, we need to preserve our water bodies, because we have a water cycle, so whatever water you use, no matter where you use it, it goes back and comes back to us. So we need to preserve that. Material selections. What about our materials? What kind of materials are sustainable? When we look at the sustainability, we are not just talking about today. We are looking at things that will impact also the future. So if we are doing this practice today and we don't consider the future, then we are not doing sustainable practice. So whatever building or whatever thing you're doing in the real estate, without considering our future generation, then our practices are not sustainable. So other strategies are waste management. How do we handle our solid wastes? How do we handle household waste? Waste during construction. The way we handle our waste will help us achieve sustainable development. Indoor air quality. We need indoor air quality for comforts. We need indoor air quality for our health. So if our indoor air quality is not good, then it affects the occupants. It affects the health of the occupants. Again, you have site selection and land use. I've already mentioned that before. If you have a site, especially a waterlogged area, and you want to develop, there are different methods you can use to develop in that kind of area, different foundations. You cannot just use any kind of foundation for a waterlogged area, right? And so also you consider the DPC level, because as water, if you have an overflow from the ocean into that region, your property can be flooded. So there are techniques, there are technologies, there are other approaches that are sustainable that can be used to achieve sustainable practices in the real estate market. We talk about adaptability and resilience. Our properties are supposed to be resilient to the environment, resilient to climate change, for us here, flooding especially, that is what we experience. For the past decade, we've experienced frequent flooding in Nigeria. Then what about the life cycle assessment? Like I said, sustainable development cannot just be, it must start from the idea conceptualization. So the life cycle of that property must be assessed from time to time to see if it is in place. So in doing this, we need to set standards, right? Who sets the standards? The government sets the standards. Like Cardman 2000 said that we have owners, designers, developers, and investors who claim that this person is responsible for this. This is why I'm not doing this. And they forgot to put the regulators. The regulators are very important also. They set the standards for us. So what are these practices we are going to be looking at? I have a case study of Eco Atlantic and Nest Oil. For Eco Atlantic, those of you who are in Lagos, we know that the Victoria Island, we have the ocean, right? The Atlantic Ocean sweeping into the environment. And then the Eco Atlantic developers decided to meet the Lagos State government, and they partnered together in order to develop that Eco Atlantic city. What they did was to put a levee to protect the shores of that area. That is sustainability. That's sustainable practice. So that in case of flooding, there is a buffer that blocks the water from going back. And we can also practice it. It's not a rocket science. Even in our little ways, we can practice it. I don't know if you've heard of eco-sand toilets before. Eco-sanitation toilets, where you can as well sieve the urine from the physics. And then this physics is being converted to valuable use. There's this statement I make that if you waste the waste, you waste the wealth. If you waste the waste, you waste the wealth. But if you convert the waste, then you create wealth. Right? So there is wealth. There is wealth in that waste you think you are wasting. I know in the simplest form in our homes, from Professor Kakulu in her kitchen, you know, her little waste, those orange peels, right? Those eba. What she does is she bottles them and then keeps them there. Over time, they turn to manure, and she uses them in their garden, in her garden. So such practices, we can embark on them. Such practices, so it's not like we are looking for something big, right? But in our little ways, we can do these sustainable practices. Is that okay? Okay? So how do we do this? We need partnerships. Like the Next Oil, no, the Eco Atlantic partnered with the Lagos State government. So we need these partnerships because sometimes at a larger scale, we may not be able to achieve it. Like we have also, my seniors have already stated, my prof and honorable have already stated that we need this partnership, we need finance. It is expensive, yes, but there is a wealth that is unlocked in it. So we need a partnership, right? We need to set standard. We need certification. Next Oil has certification from leads. So this certification tends to create marketability. So if the government can create certification certifying that this property is sustainable, you will see the market for the property. Leads, as much as it is, properties in Leeds goes for $800 per square meter per annum. $800 per square meter per annum. That is because of the certification. If you have such certification, you will see the market, you will see the attractiveness of this property. What about financial incentives? The government can also give incentives, tax rebates for those who go into sustainable practices. Yes. So if there are incentives, it will promote sustainable practice. So if you see properties that adhere or developers that adhere to sustainable development and sustainable building practices, then they will continue in that light, right? There are opportunities. We have opportunities. How do we leverage on these opportunities? Technology. There are ample technologies. We can use technologies for simulation to know if we do this today, what is going to be in the future. So technologies are there that can be used for sustainable building practices. Let's leverage on them. A lot of technologies are there. From design to the final stage, a lot of technologies are there. We also have research and development, train and retraining, because there is one definition of an illiterate that says that, I love this definition, it says that an illiterate is not someone who cannot read and write, but somebody who has refused to learn, relearn, and unlearn. So at every point in time, we must learn, to relearn, and unlearn. This is what is facing us today. We need to learn. We need to learn to adapt. We need to learn to mitigate. We need to learn to adjust. These are the terms of sustainability. We need to learn to cope. And learning to cope in the real estate market starts from property development. That's saying, today, I don't know how much the Next Oil tar, how much they use in developing that place, but the income they earn from there, it's like what we can be seen in other parts of the world. $800 per square meters. So if it is 10 square meters, you know how much it is. There is so much. If we can start leveraging on this, then we'll start having our properties not being inundated. We'll have more investors coming in, right? You don't want to come and invest where the system is not workable, is not practicable. Cost involvement. What is the cost involvement? It is expensive, yes. But if we tailor it down, working with what our nature has for us, there is always a way to work with nature. If we bring it down in our own little way, we can contribute to sustainable practices within the real estate market. The question is,
What do? What do? We start now. It starts now. The change we want to see starts with everybody. It starts with you. It starts with me. We start in the little way we can. We start from our homes. We start from our environment. You clean your environment. Those small gutters that are around you, you desilt them so that you begin to mitigate some of these effects of climate change that we see. It is our duty to go back and start practicing. It is our duty to start unlocking. Yes, the government should be involved, but we all have to be involved. In our own little ways, we have to start practicing sustainable building practices. And we will see how we unlock the wealth that is embedded in it. What are these wealth? You will see that the cost of living will be reduced. That's money you use. You spend so much in maintenance, you may not spend that. Right? You have safety. If you have fire alarm system and there is fire outbreak, it alarms. It creates that alarm. It tells you that there's going to be fire. And then there's this safety. You begin to act. You begin to be proactive. So there is safety ensured. And that safety is part of the wealth that needs to be unlocked. There are so many other wealth that needs to be unlocked. It reduces the net operating income of the property. And also improve health and well-being. There are so many diseases attached to indoor health, air. So if you don't have good ventilation, there are so many diseases that are attached to it. That money can be used for something else instead of spending it in the hospital. Thank you very much.
I was breathing down your neck. Doc, I was not giving you good air quality by the distance that we're sharing. Noble colleagues, all our management council members that are here, our past presidents, our senior colleagues, and all noble women here, please, together, I would like you all to please give a round of applause to our three panelists. What they've done is to give us a teaser, to get us talking, to get conversations started in our various communities, to ask us, like we've said, when the president, the pro tem chairman was reading, she said, innovation is when you know, but you act as if you've known nothing. Something like a brief version. So we're going to be doing one question per, there's the question here, one question per line to quickly round this up so that we can go to the other events that we have. So, Madam MC, is that a question on your row? Any question on the row to my left? Yes. Prof has a flight to meet up with the deadline. So please, quickly, any question? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Question one from each row. Let's see if we can get questions one from each row. Okay. You know, it's interesting when they're talking about, the prof spoke about mindset that we're using to the buy mindset, to the build mindset instead of the buy mindset. Then Honorable spoke about the various options of finances that are possible from the regular traditional ones we know. And then, now you've changed your mindset. You have gotten that finance. And then it comes to you building so that they can buy. Because some people will have to build what has to be bought. And then you have to now put in those sustainable structures. Because to be honest, this is all the earth we have. During COVID, it became obvious that this earth needed to breathe. And then it's time for us to treat it with better care. And this is all we have. So we have to start practicing sustainable real estate practices. Intentionally ourselves, even starting, I'm laying a challenge in this direction, even starting with our own headquarters. We must preach. We must do what we preach. We must become green in our activities, even in our own headquarters. Our rainwater and all those other things. So do we have a question now? Yes, please.
My name is Ifio Binwa from Anambra State Branch. My question goes to Honorable Mrs. Isoken. It's just a little question because I'm working on PPP and I'm interested to know if there is actually a difference between PPP and joint ventures because you mentioned something like that when you were talking. So I want to know if there is actual difference between PPP and joint ventures. Thank you.
Can I just answer?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Can I just answer? Okay, there's actually a difference. Because when you say PPP, you're talking about public and private. But with joint ventures, not necessarily public and private. It can be two people in private sector, two people in government. You understand? It can be two governments, it can be two private sector, and it can also be a mix. So some PPP are joint venture. You understand? Or some joint ventures are PPPs. Why not all joint ventures are public-private? Because public-private, there has to be the government part of it and then the private sector part of it. With joint ventures, not necessarily. It can be private-private, government-government, or the mix. Does that work? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I ask to the, while we're waiting for another question, when you and Prof were speaking to the issue of the paradigm and the different options available, and you're saying that you said we did not have the balance sheet, the kind of crop of properties that you can use to dare and go out into that marketplace. So, and then you spoke to the issue of cooperatives. How I know you also said it's sustainable, it's long term, but in the immediate short term, what are the kind of steps that we can even be taking as a group of professionals to be able to achieve some of these things that you've mentioned?
Thank you so much. If you want to go fast, you walk alone. But if you want to go further, you work together. And I believe that that is what we should be pushing. In the recent time, we've been talking of coming together. I think we should just take it serious. Real estate, size, big is the beauty. Real estate is not beautiful when it is tiny. And we can only be big when we come together. So it's when we come together that we can really put all our efforts. And let's look at Satellite Town. Satellite Town is a town developed by 19 companies. And it's a town. Government acquired the land, they put the basic infrastructure, and allocated to 19 companies, CBN, NIPOS, Unilag, and all of them developed their parcel. And today we have Satellite Town. If it's only CBN that is standing alone, it can't be a town. And it can't have all the facilities. The same thing applies to our profession. The embracing it is so beautiful. And I pray that we'll be able to break. That's what President Obasanjo did for us. To break the sole ownership of banks and make them big. And they are surviving and competing with other banks across the world today because this, myself and my wife, was destroyed. And I want to give an example that really endeared me to partnership, organization, valuers coming together. A student of mine, several years back, was admitted. Several years back, was admitted to University of Lagos. That lady was in her mother's womb when armed robber killed the father. The father collected rent. They are into partnership. I won't mention the name. They were into partnership. The father collected rent. An armed robber traced her to office, traced him to office and killed him. But the partnership sustained that family till the time that that lady gained admission. That lady that was in her mother's womb grew up, the family funded throughout their life with the partner. remaining partner. So, and I look at, if this man was alone, that would have been the end of that family. So it's so beautiful. You get to US, you get to Britain, you see, when you see list of essay surveying firm, you see several fellows, several associates working in the same company, and they were moving mountains. They are moving mountains. I pray that we'll be able to put our strength together and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Relationship management in building the next generation. I think it's a call to action for most of us. And like I said to a few people, it's always about a contract. You don't have to be the best of friends. If you have value, contracting and using legal standards to set up partnership rules and regulation. And like some people will tell you, there's only two tribes of people in the world, the good and the bad. It's not a tribe, it's not a consciousness. If you're good as a person, you're good as a person. And if you're not good as a person, you're not good as a person. So there's just two tribes. Now let's go to the next question.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, my name is Samuel. I work for a fund management firm. And I want to thank you I want to speak on the part of raising money from the capital markets. So my firm manages two publicly listed real estate investment trusts, which is Union Homes REIT and Sky Shelter Fund. In the part of, we know that pension funds are ready to give us money, but I'll give you some examples of issues we've faced when raising money. So the typical real estate investment gives you an annual return of, like, let's say 6 or 7%. But the average inflation in Nigeria now is at 24%. So there is a mismatch between the inflation rate and what real estate will give. So if you go to a pension fund and I want to start up a REIT, I want to buy, let's just say, residential properties in Ikoyi or VI, the return that investment will give you max is 8 or 10%. But the 1 year treasury instrument, or let's say treasury bill, is giving you 20% interest. So it's not competitive. So that's one place we'll be having issues. The second phase, you mentioned mortgages, how to raise money to do mortgages. I just want to put the fact that the risk aspect of the mortgages, everyone is scared of the default risks. If the borrower defaults, what do we do? And I think they need to speak more on the special purpose vehicle for that risk. For example, I'll give you infra credit. So infra credit guarantees infrastructure credit. So you want to borrow for infrastructure, you go to infra credit. So I think there needs to be something of such for the mortgage arm. So lastly, the madam that spoke on ESG, which is sustainability and the rest. We've had people come to Lagos to try to tell us about ESG investments, green and the rest. But we have a big power issue. Countries that do ESG already have stable power. So it's easy to go to alternative energy. We don't even have the basic. Our national grid just fell this year. I've met a developer that did a fully solar-powered estate at Abraham Adesoya, but there are not many. So in a climate that we have a falling national grid, what do you advise we do in terms of waste management is fine, but what do you advise we do for ESG investments? Thank you.
Okay, so she has. Yes, so there's a question for Dr. Weche.
All right, I think somehow you've already answered that question because there are alternatives. Even your waste can be converted. It can be converted for energy, yes, for power, right? But again, coming down to our natural systems, I always preach that. You know, when we have buildings that are well ventilated, then somehow you will have more lighting. You have more indoor air quality. I know that's in terms of development, right? But for already developed properties that people are inhabiting in, it's just for you to look for alternative measures. You've already mentioned them, using solar energy, using your waste, converting them to energy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just to also mention, the call was to that we begin to look little. Let's even start from our own environment. Before we start speaking about getting the LEP or getting your certifications and all the edge and all for all these buildings, even in our individual properties that we manage right now, what are the sustainable real estate property management side that we are putting in place? Do we gather rainwater? Do we have a place where we dump when the gardener, when he mows the lawn, do they have a place where they dump it that it becomes compost for your gardens? So even as estate surveyors and valuers, as property managers, we need to even begin to look at that so that it becomes a way of life. When you're stepping up to certification, it is after you have a culture of doing something that it makes it easier, and it will not be like, Nigeria don't come with another law again. We have to make it a way of life for each and every one of us. And I think it's a call to action for all of us that are here in this profession, that we need to begin to unlearn. Something the president said again, the pro tem, she said, seeing what everybody has seen and thinking what nobody has thought. We need to begin to change our paradigm so that we can find the solutions for these assets that we have in our hands that we take care of. Thank you. We have another question as we round up. We have Prof wants to speak, and then we have 2 questions, and that, since you need to take your pick.
Okay, let me quickly say.
Apologies, Prof will be rounding up because we have other programs planned, and the president and the first vice president needs to move on.
Yes. Thank you so much for your information. That's the essence of association. And I want to thank God that the national housing policy, as we have it in Nigeria today, 90% of it were designed by this institution of surveyors and valuers. In the days of our father, the days of Professor Nobu, was the first former president of this institution. What I'm saying is that all these bottlenecks that we see in policy is at fora like this that communicate will change it. Because we are pressure group. When we see that this is a policy that you have established and it's not working for us, when we meet like this, we're able to identify them, we put it across to government. You have good intention, but with this and this in place, this your good intention is not working. So the laws are made by people. So when they hear from us, those who are operating the law, they will have no choice but to review it. For the first time, towards last year, pension fund bowed and opened a window that if you are working, you can take 25% of what you have saved to address your real estate issue. And that's big. It is now left for us as a group to operationalize that policy. Because individual cannot operationalize. When we can cluster people together, 500 people, into cooperative and help them to assess that their 25% and use it to develop our real estate for them. So it's we that we modify, review, and re-strategize. That's the way government works all over the world. And on the sustainable development, like my sister said, in Germany, the target in Germany is that by 2030, every house, about 10 million houses in Germany, will be generating their own energy. As you are working in your house, you are generating energy. It's going to that energy bank. As you are cooking in your kitchen, the heat that is in your kitchen, they are converting it to energy. So your roof cannot be ordinary roof. There's solar on it. So every house, just like GSM, before, for you to use this telephone, you needed to be connected through wire. But today it's wireless. Every phone is self-sufficient, self-living. So every house in Germany, 10 million houses in Germany, by 2030, they don't need national grid. no national grid can collapse. Because every activity you do in your house, you are generating energy. So that is the way to go. But we might not get to the level of Germany today. But harvesting rainwater, like our sister said, converting our waste. If you do it, I do it, there is less reliance on this national grid, then there will be an end to grid collapse. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for our panelists once again. And in rounding up, I want to say a quick quote that was said by Charles Darwin. He says, "It is not the most intellectual of the species that survives. It is not the strongest that survives, but the species that is able to adapt and adjust." We're coming into an era of adaptation and adjustment, sustainability, finance, and all the things we've spoken about. Let's not just be about here. We need to take these conversations before here. So that in another year's time, we should be able to do like a report sheet and see how well have we done as a community and as of professionals, just not to the, like she said, the wealth, not just financial wealth, but economic wealth and even sustainability goals. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon.
Please, just thank you so much. Thank you very much. Maybe next time you will give us more time. That's, we're talking to our planners because we have so many things in stock. Based on that, I want to thank and appreciate our panelists. And before that, we want to invite our first vice president in the person of Estate Surveyor Valua, Victor Alonge, to please come up and present the plaque to the panelists, please. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. I recognize the past president in our midst and the executives of the Women Wing, also council members present here. Please let me apologize for coming late. You know very well that I don't play with your programs. When I was the coordinator, I gave you all the full support that you require. I was actually held up with some matters concerning how the conference will actually progress well. So I apologize. And you know also the president's apology is unavoidably absent, but he sent his support to you. And we're always very proud of our Women Wing. I think it was one of the best decisions that as an institution we have taken about our structure in the last, I don't know how many decades. So you need to appreciate yourself. It's a good thing we have you, and we look forward to you making more impact as we go ahead. Let me also reflect on our panelists. I think they have done well, but first of all, let me congratulate my friend and my brother, Professor Nubi. I was very proud when your daughter actually set that world record. And I was very proud to say, yes, that's my friend's daughter. And people looked at me, you mean you know the dad? I said, yes, it's my professional colleague. They said, he's an estate surveyor. I said, he's also a professor. I said, no wonder. So, Prof, congratulations. Our congratulations to your daughter, please. Thank you very much. You see, a lot has been said today, and I think we need to reflect on it. I want to appeal to the Women Wing. Please, your communique from this session, please put it together well and send it to the institution, we will act on it. There is something that we lack. I once warned us. As an institution and as a profession, we have not done well in actually forming partnership and collaboration. The real estate investment trust or ABS or whatever else that we're talking about, a lot of us think that we can do it alone. We cannot. It has never happened anywhere in the world. But we are supposed to be the engine, the facilitator. If you go to the United Kingdom, the real brain behind the success of MBS, Real Estate Investment Trust, the real brain behind it is the RICS. If you see the number of research that they conduct, the position papers they produce for industries and for government to facilitate this, you'll understand. If you go to the US, the same thing. In Nigeria, the Real Estate Investment Trust has not taken off because we are not ready. Estates of yours and valuers, we are not ready. I happen to be on the board of the Stock Exchange Real Estate Limited, the NGS Real Estate. I happen to be on the board. And when we had the group session, the group board session and so on, and they were talking of real estate, they were talking of, look, what is happening to real estate? In fact, the CEO, who is now left, challenged me. He said, look, you property people, what is happening to rates? I said, you are asking me? He said, yes. Because you guys are supposed to come up with ideas, to get this thing done. It's never done. So I think we need to start looking at ourselves. I think the problem is that the agency business has destroyed us a lot. It has destroyed our profession. And I think we will move to address that. So collaboration, and I think that is something we will look at. We cannot do this without support and collaboration with accountants, the lawyers, and the bankers, the finance people. So those are the three key professions that we must cut, and we must facilitate it. And in the next coming years, we will do that, and we will change it by the grace of God. So thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much, Honorable Isoke, and thank you. God bless. Oh, sorry. I dare not try it. I think as the program was going on, one of the stars of our leadership in the institution walked in. A past president of the institution and the immediate past chairman of the board of trustees. I'm talking of no other person than Uchendo One, Emeka Onora. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming, sir. So on this note, I would like to do what I've been asked to do with the support of my second vice president. Don't worry, I'm speaking. I'm in the spirit. All right? Don't worry, it's a matter of days. He will be first vice president. So on behalf of the women wing of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, I want to invite estate surveyor and valuer. I think this, you are not doing us justice here. The ESV should come before Prof. Next time. We want surveyor, because that is it. Are you not an estate surveyor? God bless you. Please, may I invite, God bless you. And valuer Professor Timothy Benganubi for his award. And as a panelist, I think you've done more than a panelist. You actually gave us a lecture. So thank you very much. The next person I'm going to invite Yeah, you did this right. Why now? Are you being... you put ESV before Isokezo. You didn't put for... I hope you didn't do it to the other woman. Is it a women conspiracy? Let me see. Let me see now. You see, you put up. May I also invite Estate Surveyor and Valuer Honorable Isoke Omo to please come forward for our award. Thank you very much for being a panelist, and we have enjoyed your contribution. Last but not the least, may I invite Estate Surveyor and Valuer Dr. Ogechi Weche, as one of our panelists. Thank you very much. That was a beautiful one. Then to the moderator, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Adejumoke Akure. Thank you very much for a beautiful job. I think we all enjoyed your moderation. Thank you. To present to women. May I invite now to you see the current ESCO of Women Wing. I think we should give them a round of applause. They have done very well. I remember when they were set up, they were meant to be pro-tem. Abi? They were meant to be pro-tem. And They did the job very well. And I want to say that, I will say this publicly before everybody here. The leader of the ESCO on several occasions accosted me and said, look, are we not going to have election? I said, take it easy now. He said, we are pro tem. I want election. I want us to do election. I said, take it easy. You are doing well. And he said, no, we must do election. I tactically avoided actually arranging for that election. So I'm telling you today, Bridget, that you did very well, and we were not ready to allow your pro tem to be pro tem. So that's why you ended up being permanent, and she has done well. And the ESCO, generally, you have done very well. I know the difficult terrain that you had to operate from. By the grace of God, in the next council year, we will try and make it easier for you, and give you more support so that you can actually flourish. Not just finance, but even in terms of logistics, because we need our women wing to be strong. We all see women wing of engineers, architects, and so on. They are very strong. So yours also will be strong. You can count on us for that. So you need to give yourself another round of applause. Thank you so much. Now to the ESCO, to appreciate the ESCO, your chairman has actually made this award to appreciate you, to thank you for all the work that you have done. So the first person is ESV, Essence of and Value, Esther HM, who is the Deputy National Leader. The political party leader is Women Wing of NIESV leader. So you present to her. You need to clap for this woman. She's the chairman of Enugu branch, and she's also one of the contestants for Assistant National Treasurer. Very, very hardworking and selfless woman. I'm not campaigning for her, but I'm just saying. The next person is another very, very hardworking and selfless woman. Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Adebisi Adesombo Adedamola. You see, I think I want to add princess to your name. Sumbo, are you a princess? But all your name, all of them have Ade. You are a princess because I am Adekunle and I'm a prince. The next person is, good. My very good friend and hardworking sister, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Ali Mata Mina. Please clap for her. She is the treasurer, and I think the way she operates, you think that she's a co-chairman of that wing. Very hardworking woman. Clap for her now. It's not easy. You see, to run women organization is not easy. It's easier to run naives than to run this your wingo. So when you see the leaders, please clap for them well. Martha, thank you so much. I understand the next person, who is the National Secretary of the wing, is not here. I'm sure somebody will come and collect for her. She's Estate Surveyor and Valuer Musa Amina Aliu. Please, can we clap for her, even though she's not here? Please appreciate her. That's your secretary. You are not the one now. Why are you yelling?
I was born in Kaduna.
Thank you so much. I think my job is done. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. My job is done. The only person outstanding here to be presenting an award is the chairman of the women wing. We call her the leader. And I think because of the work that she has done, we will have to let her know that work, we appreciate it. She led this wing from 2021 to 2023. So that is 2 council years combined. 2 council years combined. I would therefore respectfully invite our past presidents in the audience. Starting from Uchendu 1, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Emeka Honora, please come forward. And Estate Surveyor and Valuer Joshua Bolarinde Patola. Please, we need these heavyweights to combine together to present this award to Bridget Oranje. To Bature Ali, who has actually, he took over from me. And when he was taking over, I told him the job he was going to do, and I think he's done well. So they will present this award to him for a job well done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my incoming president. You know, I like to remind him that he's incoming. My president deferred 3 days. Right? As valuers now. President deferred 3 days. Thank you. On behalf of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, National Women's Wing, it is my honor and pleasure to present this award of appreciation to NIESV Batri Ali Mohammed as Nice Women's Wing Supervisor. Okay, yeah, second vice. Okay, you are the one who is doing this excellent job. Oh, very well. In fact, I thought he was the one. So, thank you, Batri. You've done well, just like the incoming president said that the women wings have done well. You too, you have done well. Because if you had not supervised them well, they wouldn't have done well. Okay? So it's my pleasure. Congratulations. Oh. Well, yes. I also have the honor to present this award on behalf of the National Women's Wing to our able president, who is on his way. He's not here yet, but is coming in this afternoon. I spoke with him this morning. So the president deferred 3 days. We'll receive this on behalf of our president, ESV John Bull Amayevo. Congratulations to him.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, eminent president, vice presidents, and all of them. Thank you so much for this work. Before we forge ahead, I want to introduce a noble lady in our midst, a member of Edo State chapter of the Women Wing, Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Honorable Mrs. Lucy Izoduwa Omabong. Yes, she's a prominent woman in this branch. She has been a supporter of Women Wing in Edo State. She is a barrister, a profession. She has served as an honorable commissioner for special duties in Edo State in the year 2000, between April and August. She has also served as an honorable commissioner for lands, survey and housing, 2020 to 2000 to 2003. She has also served as a commissioner for education from 2003 to 2005. She was a PDP state woman leader 2011 to 2012 and a transition committee member 2020 to 2021. She's a wife to the present deputy state chairman, PDP of the state. Please, can we welcome her to give us just a little word? If she has been a supporter of this group in this, she has been promoting this particular association in the state. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Distinguished estate surveyors and valuers, I greet you all with utmost respect. And I'm so happy to find myself in your midst today. I came late, pardon me, because I had other things I was attending to. I'm a politician. I was busy to the extent that I had time to make a token donation to the Women Wing, but I couldn't even pay for the items, the bags, and all that. They said it was on the platform. I said, sorry, I didn't read the platform. So that is the extent I could be busy. The institution is a builder of human beings. The institution built me up. Law is a second degree for me. Masters followed. I was also a council chairman of Okada, you know Okada, of your Northeast, from 2013 to 2016. And we built a very massive secretariat, myself and my able Mrs. Simeka, who was handling the project department then. She's sitting around there. I will continue to be part of you. I wasn't, we graduated from the institution as estate surveyors and valuers in the year 1981. I look very young. It's packaging. Thank you so much. Immediately, I proceeded to read law. My registration came much later, but I'm fine with that. Even as a lawyer, I made space for the estate surveyor and valuer when I was commissioner for land surveys and housing. The name is changed now to planning. Before they come around and say they bought their land for 5,000 naira, it was given to me as a gift. I said, fine, we have our profession. However you got your property, we need valuation report from estate surveyor and valuer. That was the first turnaround in that ministry. Ministry that was earning 250,000 naira, 150 a month. From that first month, we started with 9 million. That is the training the profession gave to us. Before I left the ministry, we have started earning 30, 35 million. I spent 3 years there. I also succeeded in building 2 housing estates, Igosa Housing Estate and then Iyekogba Housing Estate. They were done in my time. So I'm grateful to the institution. I pray I find time to be part of you always, but the Spirit lives in me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much. On another note, finally, we want to invite Mr. Tim Bennett. Mr. Tim Bennett is our special guest of honor. He is the Dean, School of Built Environment, University College of Estate Management, Readings. So you want to just give us, please, a round of applause for him. A round of applause for him. Wants to encourage him. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for putting up with me. I know it's perhaps refreshment time, and I probably got the worst slot. But I just want to say a massive thank you for the warmth and love that's been shown to me by those already I've met, especially the ladies last night who were trying to give me some new dance moves. But luckily, I didn't do those and embarrass myself. So very quickly, I just wanted to highlight that I'm around today. I'm also around tomorrow morning. I'll be positioned near the air conditioning at the back. But my name is Tim Bennett. I'm a chartered surveyor. I qualified in the early 1980s. But I do represent a university or an educational establishment that's been around 105 years, and that we've been working with John Ball, especially your esteemed president, and we want to form a better alliance with your institution so that you can develop your own surveyors for the future. We've talked about unlocking wealth. That's about training for the future. So this room is full of very, very important and also leading independent people who are leading the industry now, but you also might be sitting next to somebody who's going to be the president in 10 years' time. So we have a range of undergraduate and postgrad courses. They are all online. You don't have to leave the country. We're also working with the institution by the autumn to offer members of the institution a 30% discount on those courses. They are things that can allow you to get RICS accreditation. They are things that we would accept people with HND diplomas in real estate, and we would give them advanced entry. We also would allow those with those diplomas, if they've got 5 years experience, to come onto our masters in real estate, again to get professional accreditation. We've got some exciting new things. We've got a new sustainability masters about leadership in sustainability for the industry. So that's something you can come and talk to me about. We do MBAs in real estate. So this is about working together. This is about the future. This is about also trying to make it affordable, which isn't always easy. So please do come and see me. I'm going to be at the back all the rest of today and tomorrow morning. You can take my business card. You can email me. We can have a personal discussion about what's the future for you. But also in the background, we're going to be working with the institution as a partner to try and have a much better future in terms of education online. And by the way, there are no exams. I should have said that first. So it's all about you using your experience, especially with the MBA, and you think about the sustainability masters. You can use your own location, your own experience, your own organization as part of that studies. But our normal courses are about the competencies that you need and would be recognized globally as a real estate surveyor. So thank you again for your time. Thank you for the dancing tips, and I'll then hand back to you. So many thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tim. Thank you very much. Finally, I want to invite the Electoral Committee Chairman. You know, we are going to have, they said that they were interim. Now, we want to have substantive leaders. So, please, few minutes, the Electoral Committee Chairman will come and just give us a word concerning the election that we're going to have today. And meanwhile, please let the state coordinators should meet. Are you the chairman? Okay. We just want to round up. Just say, is it upstairs that the AGM is upstairs? State coordinators should come and meet ESV matter. And maybe before. Okay, now vote of thanks. So just let's have a vote of thanks, okay? Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, come on.
The first vice president, the past presidents here present, council members. For want of time, we want to stand under the existing protocol. With me here are the members, are some members of the electoral committee. Okay. And so first and foremost, just a kind of passing word, I'd want to acknowledge the Women Estate Surveyors Forum. Actually, when you go into a restaurant, they give you a menu and tell you that this is the main meal, and the other one are the sides. But with what I'm seeing from the women, I thought actually your program today was supposed to be one of the sides of the conference, but it appeared you have actually made it to become the main meal. So I want to appreciate you guys. Of course, it's expected whatever the women do, they come up best. So it's been a wonderful time, and we appreciate you. Having said that, I would want to go into why we are here. Pursuant to the constitution of the institution, we are supposed to actually hold election for the Women Estate Surveyors Forum in this particular program. And before now, we had actually sent out the guidelines for the conduct of that election. And I just want to refresh our knowledge about what is expected of us. We, as the Electoral Committee, we are ready to conduct that election. And it's definitely going to hold today as scheduled and then by the institution. First and foremost is that I would want to remind us that the positions to be contested for are the position of the chairman, the vice chairman, the secretary, and the treasurer. Of course, the issue of the eligibility of the candidates, I want to announce it here because we have some processes that would go so that people who are coming up should be informed of all that is involved before joining up on the processes. One, eligibility of the candidates. First and foremost, every candidate must be a financial member of the institution. And of course, the person is equally expected to have been a registered member of the Women Estate Surveyors Forum. And of course, if you're expecting to run for the position of the chairman, you must have been more than 10 years, of a you must not be less than 10 years, as a professional member. Other conditions are that all such professional members also must be financially up to date as at 31st December 2023. And of course, like I had mentioned, they would have been registered with the Women Estate Surveyors Forum, and of course, are up to date with the payment of their annual subscription. A nominee of the election actually must be present at the floor of the meeting. And the meeting actually this time is at the AGM that is holding up there. Of course, we said again that all nominations must be accepted openly, and of course, you will duly complete and sign the nomination forms that we're going to issue out. The voting procedure is going to be this. Immediately people are leaving here. Just before you proceed, either for your lunch, like has been arranged, or you go for your AGM, we are at that corner where you're expected to do your accreditation. Accreditation would enable us to go through and make sure that you are qualified to vote. And once you've been certified to be qualified to vote, we will now issue you with the ballot papers. Those ballot papers would now enable you to participate in the voting process that will take place upstairs. And so that is what it is. Please, we would not want the place to be crowded, so we would only want or wish that only people who are qualified or are supposed to be participants in this election should just come and meet us there or be part of the process in order to avoid crowding. So having said that, we look forward to having a very successful election of the next national officers of the Women Estate Surveyors and Valuers Forum. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Vote of thanks, please.
Noble colleagues, please, for want of time, I stand on the protocols already adopted as I continue to recognize our first vice president, the incoming in couple of some hours. I also recognize our incoming first vice president incoming in couple of hours. I recognize our elders in our midst. Because they are time, we won't continue to talk. I will also not fail to recognize our past president. Noble colleagues, I can say that the women in this 2024 annual conference will stand fulfilled. Particularly, this is the last conference. This is the fourth and the last conference these pro-team leaders will be organizing. In fact, we encountered a lot of problems, but God helped us. And I want to say congratulations to every one of us that made it. I want to say congratulations to every one of us. Number one, the economy wasn't so friendly. Number two, security challenges and many other things. But we found our ways here. May the Lord bless every one of us. Please, I want to plead with us. For the past, I think I have been consistent in attending our annual conferences for some years now. One thing that has been consistent with us is each year this issue of partnership keeps coming up. Let us not play with it. let us put it into action because something must come out of it. May the Lord bless us.
Prayer.
Shall we pray? Gracious Father in heaven, we thank you, Lord, for having brought us to the end of this program. We thank you, Lord, all that you have imparted on us, Father in heaven, shall never be in vain. As we live here, may you continue to remind us of all that we have been taught, that our lives will continue to grow bigger and higher. Even as we go back, your presence will continue to go with us. Thank you, Lord, for having answered our prayers. I pronounce your blessing to every one of us here. In the name of God the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And thank you, our publicity secretary, honorary publicity secretary. Thank you.
Noble colleagues, women can continue their meeting and the AGM at the hall reserved for them. We have a mini hall upstairs reserved for the women. So you can continue with your elections and your AGM. The hall is set for the Nigerian Estate, the NEMSA, the Nigerian State Student Management Seminar. Please. Students, are you in the hall?
It is supposed to be young estate surveyors, not students. Young estate surveyors, not students. No.
It's 2 p.m.
See, you cannot even put students on top.
Okay, I will request our students extate a little. Let's have our young estate surveyors and valuers. Are you having a seminar or a forum? A forum.